Hi peoples! So in Greek mythology, no marriage is as infamous as that of Aphrodite and Hephaestus. The lame smith god and the goddess of love and beauty were the most poorly matched couple on Mount Olympus. Even if Hephaestus and Aphrodite had not been so ill-suited for one another, she was famously in love with another god. Even when she was married to Hephaestus, Aphrodite never ended her affair with Ares, the god of war. The story of Hephaestus and Aphrodite is well known for its scandals, and is often taken as a warning against marrying for the wrong reasons. It can also tell us something about how marriage was seen in the ancient world. The end of Hephaestus and Aphrodite's terrible marriage is an example of how ancient laws regarding marriage were much different than most people would assume. Hephaestus was thrown from Mount Olympus at birth because he was deformed. He survived the fall, however, and was raised by Thetis and the metalworkers of Lemnos. He grew to be a highly skilled smith and craftsman. Eventually, he began to send gifts to Olympus, presumably in the hopes of winning back his place there. His true intentions became known, however, when he sent an ornate golden throne to his mother. As soon as Hera sat on it, she became bound to the seat with fetters that none of the gods could break. The Olympians had been gathered to decide which of them should marry Aphrodite, since Zeus had decided that it was time for her to be wed. Seeing a solution for both his problems, Zeus declared that whichever god could free Hera would earn the right to marry Aphrodite. But only Hephaestus knew how to free Zeus's wife from the trap he had made for her. To win Aphrodite's hand, someone would have to bring Hephaestus back to Mount Olympus and compel him to release his mother. Aphrodite was certain that Ares, the god of war, was the only one strong enough to drag Hephaestus to Mount Olympus. She offered no resistance to the plan, since she had hoped to marry Ares anyway. Ares, who was known for his battle lust far more than his strategic thinking, burst into the smith's forge without a plan of attack. This proved to be a mistake, since the heat of the forge and the strength Hephaestus had built as a metalworker quickly drove Ares from Lemnos. Dionysus next approached the forge, but he had a much different plan than Ares' reliance on a swift attack. He came with an offer of friendship. The two sat and talked, enjoying several cups of Dionysus' finest wines. Eventually, Dionysus suggested that there was a loophole in Zeus's decree. The next day, Hephaestus returned to Mount Olympus and freed Hera without any commands or threats. He then stood before the king of the gods and demanded his prize. Because he had come of his own accord and acted without anyone else forcing him to, Hephaestus himself had fulfilled the requirements of Zeus's decree. As the god of law, Zeus was forced to agree that, because of the way he had worded his challenge, Hephaestus had won the right to marry Aphrodite. The marriage of Hephaestus and Aphrodite proved to be an unhappy one, however. The goddess of beauty despised her unattractive husband and, according to some sources, refused to have anything to do with him. Eventually the sun god Helios, who saw everything from his position in the sky, learned that Aphrodite and Ares were meeting in secret. He told Hephaestus that Aphrodite had continued her relationship with the god of war, and the smith began to plan his revenge. Hephaestus often left Mount Olympus to visit Lemnos, so when he told Aphrodite that he was leaving their palace, she immediately contacted Ares. The god of war came to meet her just moments after Hephaestus left his home. As soon as Aphrodite and Ares were in bed with one another, Hephaestus put his latest trap in motion. A net of thin but unbreakable chains fell down on the lovers, trapping them in a very compromising position. Hephaestus did more than catch Aphrodite being unfaithful, however. He got revenge by humiliating his wife and her lover, inviting the other gods to come in and see how ridiculous they looked under his net. The only Olympian who did not laugh at Aphrodite and Ares was Poseidon. He vowed to make sure that Ares would be held accountable for his actions, so that Hephaestus would agree to release them. Ares fled to Thrace, and most sources say little of what consequences he faced, though the marriage between Hephaestus and Aphrodite ended as a result of her infidelity. According to Homer, Hephaestus demanded that Zeus return the gifts he had received as the surrogate father of the bride, which effectively nullified the marriage. Other sources claim that Aphrodite avoided her husband and the other gods for some time. Eventually, she and Hephaestus agreed that their marriage should be dissolved. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed this video. It really means a lot. Till next time, bye bye.